Welcome to F.O.S.T. I'm your host, Aaron Flowers, along with Wayne Wilson. Our other counterparts are hopefully coming soon. If not, we're going to go on with the show. And hope all of my viewers and everyone have had a nice week. And hopefully, the picks was looking good. Wayne, the picks was looking good for me. How about you?
Um, wasn't too bad.
Wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I think I took 12, 13 games.
Okay, 13 games, pretty good. I think I got 12. I think it was the best since we started for me. I don't think the counterparts are hoping that way. To get him around. Um, let's see. Matter of fact, let's see all the overall picks. I think, Wayne, you right there. You're right there at 95, 92, and 45.
Yep.
And I think the counterpart Eric is right there, 96. I'm no longer in the basement. I guess that's why Charles didn't want to come on. Now
That
he's in
could
the
be it.
basement. He's
The champ.
definitely in the basement. And when I look at me, I'm at 83 and 53, and Kai is one game ahead of me. So I feel like LL Cool J. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. So that's right. So that is right. All right. On today's segment, I was trying to get it to our viewers, but StreamYard didn't make this easy for me on this Saturday, trying to get everything that I actually put on uh, my computer to actually view up, so the viewers can actually see it in my PowerPoint. But hey, it is what it is. I'll keep working on it for
We'll get
next
it.
week. Most definitely. Our picks last week looked pretty good, Wayne. There's going to be some interesting games. I'm shocked that we even lost that Bengals game. I went with Erica talking about the Bengals is going to beat the Ravens, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was definitely wrong. I said to myself,
It
"No,
was interesting though.
what? I mean, if the coach would have just kicked the field goal, it would have been a different story. They probably would have went into overtime. You know, it
Yeah.
would that would make sense, wouldn't it? Just go into overtime and try to win it in overtime. You know,
Well, I just think the Bengals are in a position where they got to go for goal all the way.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Um, the Bengals right now is in that panic stage, but they say he's Joe Cool Burrow, so uh, we're gonna have to see if the Cool really gonna come out, or he gonna be like Aaron Rodgers, just relax.
Exactly.
But yeah, all right, let's get into our picks because our other people aren't on, so we're gonna get into our picks. Um, it's gonna be interesting too, Wayne, because these games that's coming up are like who in the world's going to pick? Who really wants to win this game? And I think that's another reason why our counterparts is not on. They just want to see what we do. They ain't slick. They ain't slick by no means. Oh,
That's all
let me
right.
see.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's going to be all right. It's definitely going to be all right, Wayne. Because you know what? Next thing you know, we probably be undefeated this week because we don't have nobody hindering us from making our picks or trying to persuade us to do otherwise. So
Uh-huh.
they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, you know what? We should have been on." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, you should have been on." All right, well, we got the Giants and Carolina. See, this is what I'm talking about.
And this is going to be an interesting game.
It
It
is.
all depends who wants that number one pick more.
Yeah, that that is true. But I'm going with the Giants because they
Oh,
just know how to screw the pooch. Even though that Carolina is playing at home, um, just think the Giants and Daniel Jones is going to try to keep his job somewhere. So
I'm actually going to go with the Panthers.
I ain't going with.
I want to
All
see
right.
what the young boy down in Carolina is going to do tomorrow. I think he might be able to pull it off.
Okay. I mean, it is the Giants. They're really a train wreck. We got the Patriots and the Bears.
Going with the Bears.
I think I'm going with the Bears also.
Yeah,
Um,
the Bears have more to lose if if they don't win.
yeah, true. But I've been hearing that there's some things going on in that doggone locker room that's not cool in the Bears. So I hope they get it straightened out. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I really do. I hope they get it straightened out because the Bears is looking like they're on the upside. They don't need any controversy to deter them from what they're doing. Got another big one. We have the 49ers and the Bucks.
mm,
I
yeah,
know who you pick.
it's down in Tampa too.
Yeah, I know who you pick.
Yeah, you know who I'm picking.
And is Christian McCaffrey coming back this game?
He's supposed to. He's supposed to come back this game.
He may be a difference maker, but I'm gonna go with the Bucks. Um, they just barely. If it wasn't for the referees, I think they would have beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They
I
barely
think so.
lost. So I'm gonna pick the Bucks on this one because I'm not sure if McCaffrey is going to be. He's the only one. So I mean, you need more
It'll
than one player.
exactly. It'll be a limited play for him.
Yeah,
Um, I think if Purdy move the ball around more, they're not just focusing on two receivers. It should be he should have a pretty good game.
yeah, they should. They really should actually. But even with if they keep, they have to be consistent with the run because with
Yep,
McCaffrey and your other running back, is Jennings still hurt? Or is he
I think
okay?
he is.
Yeah. I mean, those are some of the weapons, and the Bucks really don't have their two
Yeah,
wide receivers either. So this is going to be a good game. But they playing in Tampa, so we'll see how that works.
yeah.
Anyway, for that one, we have the Broncos and the Chiefs.
I'm going with the Chiefs. I don't see the Broncos winning too many games for the rest of the season,
Yeah,
and definitely not against the Chiefs.
yeah, yeah, Chiefs either. So I'm picking the Chiefs also. We have the Bills and the Colts.
Hmm. I'm going to
So
side with the Bills.
I'm gonna side
They're,
with the Bills also.
they're a little better than the Colts.
Yeah, the Colts. Oh no, Richardson is a disappointment at this particular time.
Hmm.
Mm, man, tired. Needs some rest, ball. I need some rest. Uh, the Steelers and the Commanders is going to be a really good game.
Yeah, this might be the game of the week.
Yes,
Um,
but I am not picking the Commanders.
I didn't think so. I was talking to someone else at work about the Steelers. I didn't say that the Steelers defense has been consistent for the last 2 years. They have kept the Steelers in games, and even this season, the losses that the Steelers had, they didn't lose by a whole lot.
Yeah, yeah.
You
And
know,
when I'm thinking that the Commanders lost to two good teams. They lost to uh, the Ravens and the Bucks when the Bucks were healthy.
yeah.
Um, and so when you talk about a Steelers team like that with that defense and they know how to disguise some things, and I think that Russell's going to have a good game. Um, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna go with the Steelers. So you're going with
The Steelers too.
okay. Well, we have the Vikings and the Jaguars.
Going to Vikings. Jaguars haven't proven anything to me this year.
No, you haven't. And my thing is, I feel for my boy Doug Peterson. I think he's going to be on the hot seat if he's not already.
Yeah.
Um, just doesn't look good over there in Jacksonville. And I think everybody figured Jacksonville out. You know, that game that they played in Philadelphia, it took the refs to help them out. To be honest, um,
Mm-hmm.
because when Saquon Barkley he was touched, he was not. That was not a fumble. Um, but they gave it as a fumble. But the Jags, I don't know what they're missing. Maybe it is coaching, but they're missing something.
Yeah.
We got the Falcons and the Saints.
I think the Saints they're beat up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and
They
the Falcons have
fired
been
their
playing.
coach.
Yeah, the Falcons have been playing some pretty good football the last couple of weeks.
Kirk Cousins, man. Kirk Cousins
Yep.
is he's a what you call empty calorie quarterback. Good during the regular season, can't can't win in the playoffs. So I'm picking the Falcons also. Um, we have the Titans and the Chargers.
Mm, I like the Chargers.
I do too.
Yeah. The Titans, they're 2-6, and they haven't really impressed me. Even
Oh
with the wins they had this year.
yeah, to me the Titans, fell off ever since AJ Brown left, and then you get rid of I think what didn't they have Derrick Henry?
I believe
So
so. Yeah.
so they you got rid of Derrick Henry. He's balling for the Ravens. Actually, he's the leading
Hmm.
rusher in the
Yep.
NFL.
Yep.
And so you gave away all your good players. I know you try to rebuild, but you have to rebuild around Derrick Henry. Plain and simple. You know, and get some
You
wide receivers.
you can't rebuild. Get rid of your best player.
That's right. Like same thing with the Giants. You got rid of Saquon Barkley, and now you're stuck with Daniel Jones.
Yep.
Next is the Jets and the Cardinals. Ooh, this should be interesting.
It should be a good game, but I doubt it. I think the Cardinals going to run all over the Jets.
You think so?
I think so. The Cardinals want to keep that number one position in the West,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I and um, Brett Favre's copy Aaron Rodgers hasn't done anything this year.
Well, he didn't they win last week? I want to say they did win last week, didn't they? Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, they did. They beat the Texans 21-13.
Yeah, Texas is a pretty good team.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to pull this out. I'm gonna actually go with. I'm gonna go with the Jets. So, um, even though the Cardinals is trying to hold on to that seed, I think Aaron Rodgers has found his buddy and they can
Yeah.
make some plays.
We'll see. I mean, um, having Devontae there is going to help them out, but I just still think the Cardinals may have the edge.
It's going to be a good game. I really think it's going to be a good game.
Okay.
We have the Eagles and Cowboys.
Well, I'm not going with them.
So,
You
I'm
know,
going with the Birds.
he's saying that every year they're them boys, but them boys has not been doing anything this year.
No, and with Dak Prescott being hurt, I think, and I keep on telling people they should not underestimate Cooper Rush, that backup quarterback. Even though they have Trey Lance, they
Yeah,
started Cooper Rush over Trey Lance.
yeah. They're talking about that too. That they should start Trey Lance, but I don't know. I mean, I just remember when Cooper Rush played. That was last year when Dak was down.
Hmm.
Cooper Rush impressed me. He played some pretty good football.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He really did. And that's the thing that concerns me the most. It's like this kid can play, um,
Hmm.
and he knows how to work that system. So I do have Philly winning it, but Philly is coming in, I think, healthy because I think Dallas Goddard is coming back, and
Yeah, that's gonna
Slay and
help
the
him.
rest of them guys are coming back too. So it's going to be interesting. It's
Yeah,
going to be an
that
interesting.
with Goddard back and your receivers back, they're gonna take pressure off of Saquon.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
because they're not gonna sure who to key in on.
no. And even with Dallas Goddard being out, Katera was a beast, man. Kudos to him, man. Seriously,
Yeah,
because he really he really held his own while Goddard was out. So having two tight ends that can catch the ball and run down the field like that, kudos to how even
yeah.
Katera. Uh, we have the Lions and the Texans.
It's gonna be a beast of a game.
They're playing in the Texans stadium. Lions, I don't think want to lose that number one seed,
Yeah, the
but
Lions are playing hungry.
yeah, they are playing great ball.
Yeah, and I see them taking this game, but I think it's gonna be a close game.
Yeah, something telling me to lean towards the Texans, but I don't know. This is one of those games where I'm thinking that the Texans might pull it out because due to the fact they lost to the Jets, you know,
Hmm.
really bad. I'm gonna try the line. I'm gonna try the Texans. I'm gonna try.
Which is it now? The Texans or the Lions?
I'm gonna try the Texans. I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. Uh, because D'Amico, I think D'Amico knows how to play the Lions in that defense. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't know, but I'm gonna try the Texans for Texas. Dolphins and Rams.
Hmm.
Rams
I'm
are
going.
healthy. I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Rams too. I was about to say that they got everyone back and they're getting ready to start playing all cylinders. It's going to be a strong finish for the Rams, I believe. And the Dolphins
So
were
it's
just
only 13, 14 games uh, this week.
yeah.
Hmm. And on Thursday, we have the Eagles and the Commanders.
Whew, that's gonna be a hard pick.
I'm picking for, I'm going with Philadelphia.
Hmm. Yeah, I think
I'm
I'm gonna go with the Eagles too. Just because like we are just talking about, the Eagles have everybody now.
Yeah,
You know,
that's the thing.
and I'm just still amazed by Mr. Barkley and his new football move that's going to be on the next Madden game.
Saquon, they drug test him after the game.
Yes, I
That,
couldn't believe that. It's like, what are you talking about?
that don't make
Just
no
because
sense.
he shows some pure athleticism, you think he's on drugs.
Just because he did a play that nobody else done before. Yes, you don't drug test the man right afterwards. I mean, complete. That's just
Yeah, he was on something all right there. That drone maybe it was his Spidey senses told him to jump.
that's it. That's it. Because that man was coming. I mean, he was coming. Um, and I had everything set up to show highlights from last week. And Philadelphia last week had three highlights, like three unbelievable plays. You talk about the Saquon Barkley play, that was unbelievable what he
Yes.
did. But then Jahan Dotson, bobbles, juggles the ball, and then comes down with it while he's on his back. That is just crazy. Crazy. And then you talk about Devontae Smith with the one hander, 2 feet in the back of the end zone. I mean, whew, I mean,
It's
that was a
called
game to watch.
being hungry for that win.
Huh?
Being hungry.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's what it is. After your coach, we're gonna get into that later. After your coach, basically, left 9 points on the board or on the field and didn't put them on the board. So yeah. At this time, I'm a there's an ad for transformation. There's ran by Joe Solomon and Shoshana Solomon, and it's a fitness program for any individual that is trying to lose weight, trying to feel better about themselves. They are one of the best. I'll try to turn my screen around so you can see it. They are the best at what they do when it comes to getting um, you healthy, staying with you, encouraging you on your journey of losing weight. So if you ever need to have a weight trainer or someone helping you get to your goal, please get in contact with Fit. They're on Instagram as Fitting King and Queen. Fit Queen King and Queen. You can see them on Instagram or Facebook. Um, I didn't see a number on here, but hit them up. They will definitely get you right. Mr. Solomon was on last week, giving us idea of what he does and how his business is running. and he's also a former bodybuilder, still trying to get into it. I don't think the man has an ounce of fat on him, but it's kudos to him and his small business. Hopefully, it can expand into a larger business. All right, this is the time we would do exactly, exactly right or exactly wrong. All right.
Yes.
And so some of the questions I actually broke it down for the five of us, but it's just me and you, Wayne. So it's going to be me and you. All right.
Got it.
I'm gonna
We
start
got
it
it.
off with you. Will Mike McCarthy get fired before the end of the season? Is that exactly right or exactly wrong?
I'm gonna go with exactly wrong. Only because I don't think Jerry Jones want to draw too much attention to him during the regular season.
Okay.
I think he'll be fired at the end of the season.
I
I mean,
agree.
I'll be surprised if they let him go before the end of the season because, like I said, there's too much controversy going on in Dallas right now. And to be honest, it is not Mike McCarthy's fault.
Hmm. Well, from what I'm hearing, that he's lost the locker room. So if you lose the locker room, I don't know whose fault it can be.
Hmm.
But if it is, I would think that Jerry always does things at the end. I didn't say I never, but I haven't seen him yet um, let go of a head coach in the middle of the season. So I think that's exactly wrong. Now, this one: will the Cardinals win their division? I'm gonna
Hmm.
say exactly wrong.
I
Um,
want. I would say this is exactly wrong too, just because there's still too much football to be played, and and they're all got like right there. I mean, it's maybe like a half a game or so that's separating them from the first spot.
yeah,
If they were up like 2 or 3 games, like if they were like 6-2, 6-3, I would say it's very well possible.
yeah, I would say the same thing. I was listening to another sports broadcast, and they had selected them to actually win that division, and I was like, wow, I actually did select the Cardinals to make the playoffs, but to win the division, I don't, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
But
I'm
if
looking at it
they
right
do,
now. The Cardinals are 5-4. The Rams, Niners are 4-4, and the Seahawks is 4-5.
it's a tight division.
It's too close.
Yeah, it's a tight division, and so when you look at it in that kind of sense, you'd be like, I don't know, if that's going to actually work in the favor of them, but not not them winning the division. I think that that whole division has um, some growing pains, meaning that there's a lot of injury, and
Yeah.
some of the players just want to get healthy. So yeah, all right, Wayne, I'm gonna ask you these two questions, and I'll take the other two.
All right.
Will Jaden Daniels win Rookie of the Year? Exactly right or exactly wrong?
Exactly right. With the numbers he's putting up, and with Washington winning the way they've been, I think he's the front runner for Rookie of the Year.
Most definitely, most definitely. Um, I I I think that he plays outstanding for this kid to to do the things that he's done. Like I said, he reminds me of C.J. Stroud. Um,
Hmm.
I think if Washington ever has a chance to win it or go to the Super Bowl, it is now because once they get tape on this kid, it's going to be terrible. it's going to be hard for him. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so this year is that year for him, I believe, uh, to get to at least to the NFC uh, divisional round, before you
Hmm.
get to the championship round, because they don't have too much film on this kid. And yes, he lost to some good teams like the Ravens and the Bucks while they were healthy. Uh, but outstanding kid. I think he definitely will get rookie over the year over Caleb Williams. The next question is for you too, Wayne, about your Niners.
I see
Will
it.
the Niners move from their head coach if they miss the playoffs?
I would say that's exactly right as well.
Whoa.
I I I don't know. Coach, he just I just seen some bad calls that he made in a couple Super Bowl runs that we had.
Mm,
You know, he the running game's working for him and he goes away from it.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
I see that. I
um,
see that.
and he hasn't pulled it off yet for him. So I don't know what the front office of the Niners are thinking right about now, but if they definitely do not make the playoffs, I can see them strongly looking for another coach that could get them there because they're
Yeah,
right there.
I do agree. Um, well, my thing is, I I'm gonna say exactly wrong because Kyle Shanahan, even though that he he makes some suspect calls, what other coaches out there that has his scheme? I mean, when you look at Shao Kyle Shanahan, excuse me, Kyle Shanahan, you look at his scheme, you look how quarterbacks thrive in that scheme. So
Mhm.
to get rid of him and keep Brock Purdy and put Brock Purdy in another scheme, I don't know if that's going to help um, Brock Purdy. So I'm gonna say exactly wrong. I don't think they're going to let him
Okay.
go. This one's for me. Will the Giants get the number one draft? I'm going to say exactly wrong. They're going to find some kind of way to muck this up. And why I say that is this, and I know I actually had this question for Kai, but why I say that is because due to the fact that they do go against Carolina tomorrow,
Hmm.
right? They're going to win that game. And when you look at their schedule, they can probably lose those other games, but they're going to try to win one of those divisional games, either with Philadelphia. If Philadelphia locks everything up, and they got to play the Giants and they're going to put their backups in. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
so it's according to how they look at the end of the season. But I think the Giants is definitely going to win some other games. It's going to cause them to not get that number one seed. Probably goes to Carolina. What's your thought?
I I can see that happening because see next week the Giants have look like they have a bye.
They'll even lose by.
They play the Bucks week 12
Mm-hmm.
and they'll be at home. In week 13 they got them boys.
They can lose that game too.
Yeah. And then they have the Saints week 14.
They probably win that game.
Week 15 they got the Ravens.
They'll lose that game.
Yeah, then they're gonna win that one. Then they got the Falcons week 16, and then the final game they're playing the Colts.
and they probably mess around and win that
Yep.
game. So yeah, the last exactly right or wrong. Will the Eagles make it to the NFC Championship? I'm going to
Mm.
say exactly right. If they stay healthy and they stop trying to drug test my boy all the time, they're going to keep on drug testing. He's going to keep on making plays like that. So I'm going to say exactly right. Either they're going to go against the Lions or Green Bay. Uh,
Ooh, Green Bay. Okay.
uh, unless San Fran can get healthy all of a sudden, you know, I can't put them in there. But I'm looking at that division, and this is definitely going to be a team out of that division. Um, Bucks, hmm, maybe, but the Bucks lost both of their wide receivers, so
Yeah.
um, just can't see any other team. If Philadelphia stays healthy,
Yeah. If not the Lions, I could maybe see the Vikings
yeah,
if they have a good run towards the end of the season.
I can see. It's to me, the Vikings is one of those teams that um, they they shoot themselves in the foot most of the time. And so
Yeah.
when I say Green Bay had Malik Williams. Uh, well, what's his name? Malik from Tennessee. They made Malik look like he was a star. You know, in those games that Love was out. So
Hmm.
they have a winning mentality. Um, Green Bay fought Philadelphia tooth and nail in the first game of the season. Um, the Lions, to me, the coach really did learn some things because he learned how to just take points instead of just trying to go for it all the time. But
Yep.
that offense just knows how to put up numbers. They just know how to put up numbers. So,
Yeah. That running, their running back is pretty good.
yeah, yeah. And so when I look at the Lions, I think that you know it. I think the Lions will definitely make it to the NFC Championship, but it's going to be which team is healthy. Which team is healthy that's going to
Got that
actually
right.
make it there. All right. Who would be the best fit as head coach for the Saints? Bill Belichick, Robert Silas, or Lovie Smith?
Well, Bill Belichick going to any team is gonna make that team better.
Yes. Uh, but Bill wants to go to the Saints.
Hmm.
The Saints do have weapons. Remember, the Saints is just not healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you talk about a healthy Saints team with all those weapons, mm, and
Yeah.
their defense is not that bad either. Bill would go come in there and change that defense around. Um, I would definitely think Robert Salas, uh, just because he's a defensive minded individual. The thing about it with Robert is this: it is just trying to get an offensive coordinator in there that he can trust to just call the offensive play. You know,
Yeah.
but both of those coaches, I think, would make a great fit for the
Hmm.
Saints. even with Lovey Smith, I just think Lovey is another defensive minded coach. All three of these coaches are defensive minded. If you talk about an offensive minded coach, I I would think of Frank Wright, but then Frank Wright didn't do well in in Indianapolis, nor did he do well in Chicago. So
No,
I mean Carolina. So you know, I would love for
you're right. Saints needs a defensive minded coach um, on their team, even if it, at a maybe defensive coordinator position.
yeah, I agree. Um, with that defensive coordinator, they just need a offensive coordinator that knows what he's doing. And so if if it's Bill, he'll probably call Josh McDaniel. If
Hmm.
it's Salas, you need to call somebody off of the staff of our head coach Kyle Shanahan
Yeah.
to get like an assistant head coach from from the night to help him out. But I hope that we see Salas again. But right now, that man is getting paid $8,000 a week doing absolutely nothing. I ain't mad at you, bruh. I ain't mad at you because I know somebody's going to pick him up. If he's not the
Mm.
head coach, he'd be a good defensive coordinator. Switching from the NFL to the NBA, what's your thoughts, Wayne, on Bronny James going to the G League?
I think it's a good decision. I think it's going to be good for him to get that more personal training, to get prepared for the NBA. I just didn't think that he was truly ready to go to NBA when he was drafted.
Yeah, I do agree. The thing about it is, how does he feel about it within himself? Because sometimes what happens is when you get a player that is pushed up so high like that, it can also break their confidence. It can also break their will to even play the game. Just being drafted to the NBA and then having to step down to the G League, which I thought to myself earlier when I said talked about Ronnie James that he came out too soon. He should have just stayed in college and
Mm,
played in college for a little bit while longer, get that experience that he needed. Um, but everybody was so pushing for him to play with his father, it actually could destroy his career
yeah,
himself.
I agree with you with that.
And
Yeah,
so, no,
he
I know he loved his dad. I know that a lot of people wanted to see that, but in the same token, he wasn't ready for the NBA competition and that NBA level of play. But I hope that he develops himself in the G League, and so he can come back to the NBA.
well, if he gets the opportunity to develop not only his skills but his ability to lead,
Mm,
it would definitely make him a better player.
yeah, I truly
You know,
believe
and he
it.
doesn't have it. I just don't think he has the opportunity to be a leader on that team.
Mm. And sometimes he doesn't need to be a leader. He just needs to just come in and showcase what he knows. He has to
Right.
have the IQ of a basketball player and and knock down shots. Like I'm on. If he's only 6'1", 6'2", he needs to learn how to shoot the three um,
Yep.
and make those shots consistently, uh,
Yeah.
and
And
not
also,
make the moment too big for himself.
I also just think about how when you know you got a younger player come on, he's playing on the same team with his father. You know, if you messed up, your dad can ground you. You know, because I think about King Griffey. When he went, him and his dad on the field, he ran and took the ball away from his dad, showing his dad,
Yeah,
and and Ken Senior grounding Junior after that play, you know.
and so
And also I think about there's another player, Hal McRae, in baseball that played for the Kansas City Royals. I can't remember who his son name, but I think his son played on the Royals too.
hmm
You know,
yeah,
so
it's a lot of pressure. Like it's definitely a
it
lot of
is.
pressure. If you ask me. And so to establish yourself, um, I'm gonna be honest. I would play for another team, not on the same team as my dad. But everybody want history in the making.
Yep.
That's what happened. Uh, all right. What is the team? What NFL team is overrated?
Hmm.
I'm gonna just go out and say it. I can't stand the Dallas Cowboys. I think they're overrated. I mean, they get all this publicity, all this television. You know, they have one of the richest owners. You know, everybody got to be a Dallas Cowboy fan. Um, everybody gotta, watch. They gotta watch them on television. They get all the primetime games, and they're trash. Like, come on, come on. Like,
I
I
I
understand
agree with
Kansas City. Everybody wanting to see Kansas City because they're winning Super Bowl. Understand that they wanted to see the Patriots because they were winning Super Bowl. Dallas haven't seen a Super Bowl in over 30 years, and they still listed as America's team. You're overrated, man.
I agree with you. They've been overrated for a long time. I mean, it's one thing if you're saying that you're the greatest team and you're winning. I mean, you're backing up what you guys talking about. But
Yeah,
you know, the marketing and everything is hyping the Dallas Cowboys as America's team, and they have been for as long as I've been watching football as the Dallas Cowboys America's team. But they haven't been America's team for a very long time.
if that's a losing is America's team, then I don't want to be America's team. I mean, come on.
I mean,
You done
granted,
lost games
they
at
have great players. They have some great players on it. Parsons. Um, I give Dak his credit. Um,
mhm,
there are a couple of receivers on the team. They're great, but they are not clicking as a team right now,
no,
and they
they're
are
not.
definitely overrated.
Definitely, definitely, definitely over. Uh, before I get into the next slide, I did put this down here, Wayne, but I didn't see it on our agenda. But I skipped over it, actually. Do you think that? Do you think point point shaving is happening in the NFL?
From watching some of these way these games are being officiated, absolutely, absolutely. Um, you know, gambling is a big business, and
Mm-hmm.
if they could, if there's a team out, a game that's highly rated, populated, and everything, and they think it's gonna be a close game. I think the gamblers put it in and say we this is the team that we want to win.
Yeah, yeah. And because when you look at Vegas and Vegas has come up with their analogy on how much a team should win, and then they don't make the point spread. They save money. But if they make some people make the point spread, it's like one in a in a million that actually makes the point spread. So, well, I put this question in, and I'm had to sit up in the camera for this one. Um, and I told this to Brother Kai, and Kai was like, "I guess that's another reason Kai is not going to be on here today." Um, Nick Sirianni, I have a problem with his decision making when it comes to points. There was 9 points left on the field that he just did not take. Field goals. When it was a field goal that was made, he took the points off the board to go for two, and they didn't make the two. They went for it several times on fourth down when you were up 22 to, I think it was 22 nothing. You didn't take the point. You wind up going for it on fourth down. That made the game. This game should have been, if you had, what they had, 28 points. If you had 9 points or 20, whatever 20 something points that they had to win the game. If you add those points together, that would have been 30 something points, and Jacksonville wouldn't have been nowhere near winning this game.
Yeah.
Now, the point spread for that game was 7+ over. Philadelphia only wound up winning that game by 5 points. This is not the first time this has happened. And so you're making it obvious that you're shaving points. Um, and this is a problem. This is a serious problem. Um, and if I can see it, and if all the other Eagles fans and everybody else can see it, then it's going to be known. And then next thing you know, your organization is going to be uh,
Mm.
investigated.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
You have one of the best kickers. Now, don't get me wrong, the kicker did miss one of the field goals. But if he was kicking the field goals beforehand, he wouldn't have been that cold on the sideline. For one. For two, you know, what are you trying to prove when you have 22 to nothing? It didn't make sense to me. You did this in another game, and it was even an Atlanta game where we wound up losing that game.
Yeah. Look,
You know,
it's
kick the
one thing.
field goals, dude.
Yeah, get the points. Always get the points because,
And
like you said, those you by you, and I think Kyle Shanahan did it a couple of times. I think he did it in the Super Bowl. You get the points. You don't try to go for more points. You get the for sure points because those points can cost you the game.
exactly. And so, are you playing to win, or are you playing for Vegas? This is my thing. You know, if you're playing to win, you win, and you just win. You don't sit up there and shave points off the board or say, well, we can go for it. We're just going to go. Oh, I'm aggressive. No, that's stupidity at its best. Either you're a stupid coach or you're shaving points. Which is,
Exactly. You go for
you
the
know,
points. And you manage the clock.
that's it. That's it. And when you see what happened with the Jaguars, the refs started getting in on it because Saquon Barkley was clearly touched by the defender, and he went down on his elbow. I mean, his
Hmm.
forearm was down. and then the ball popped out. The ref's going to say, "Oh, that's a fumble." That was not a fumble.
Yep, you're right.
Even and this also makes me upset when you have the referee from New York or that's overseeing the officials, and he said no, his leg was touched in the same motion that he went down, so this is not a fumble. But the refs on the field called it a fumble. Even when they went under review, it was still called a fumble. So my thoughts is with so much of gambling being in the sport, and I said this before, it is crippling the game. It is crippling the game.
Yep.
When everybody else sees that this man was down by contact, and you just go against what everybody else is seeing, either you're stupid or you're shaving points. Plain and simple.
Plain and
You
simple.
know, and you can't tell me in that game alone there was too many instances where Philadelphia could have ran away with that game. Could have just totally ran away with that game. You know, I looked at the game last night. It was a beautiful game. I mean, I just thought that the Bengals was going to pull this out, but here we go with stupid calls again. Head coach, you, you're right there. Just kick the field goal and go in overtime.
Hmm.
Try to win the game in overtime. That is, you wouldn't do that if you were in the Super Bowl. You wouldn't go for two if you were in the Super Bowl. And
I
the
would hope
top,
not.
yeah, and to top this off even better, how about the refs missed the holding call against the Ravens, where that man is clearly being held? They didn't even call it, but they called other stuff, but they didn't call that. Then when it's shown on the replay, you still don't correct the missed call. So what are you telling us as viewers, as fans, that we dictate what who wins? We dictate um, how much you're going to win by. Because if I was the NFL and I seen a call that was not called, I'm calling down to the ref saying, "Hey, you missed this call on a crucial play.
Hmm.
Throw the flag."
Exactly.
That's just my thoughts.
Yep.
Now, I
It's
know
it's
y'all
a
might get mad at me for saying this, and I told Kai yes yesterday, I was like, "Bro, I just got to put it out there. I'm a fan, so like I gave the disclaimer um, in my on F.O.S.T. that fans only sports talk. We are not professionals, uh, sports commentators, sport writers, or professional athletes. We do not own the rights to any video or music that is played during our broadcast. So just to get y'all a heads up, look, this is what we do. We're fans speaking about the sport that we love. Now, for that break, I want you to take the time out if you're ever looking for a notary here in Delaware. This notary will come to your place, come wherever you're at. Notaries like authentic, excuse me, authenticate the executions of wills, trusts, or legal documents. Any documents that you need signed, you can call anytime, anywhere in the state of Delaware, stamped with integrity. Stamped with integrity. You can also reach them at 302 289 6575. And you can hit them up on their website, www.stampwithintegrity.org. So if you ever need any legal matters that you need to address, wills, uh, titles, uh, even properties that you need uh, everything notarized, please give them a call and they will come to you and give you a quote on what you need done. All right? Wayne, last words for FOST tonight. What's on your mind, sir?
Yes, I want to give a big shout out to the Grant Union High School Pacers back home in Sacramento, California. They're heading to the state championship once again this year, and I believe wholeheartedly that they will take it again.
Oh, wow.
So big ups to the Grant Pacers.
The Grand Pacers. All right. Give them a round of applause. I hope that they do take it again. I mean, hey, there ain't nothing wrong with winning.
Absolutely not.
I just want to reiterate let the sport be the sport that we play. Also, I see in this generation that we teach our children to be competitive, but we don't teach them how to have sportsmanship. Um, just because you lose doesn't mean that you have to be angry, upset, or aggressive to the point that you're trying to fight each other or trying to hurt one another. Football, basketball, any sport is a sport. It's supposed to be for entertainment purposes only. Now, most of our children look at sports and we want to be the athlete um, that is in the NFL, NBA, baseball, soccer, whatever the sport may be. We always have a role model in sport. And I just encourage those uh, athletes, those professional athletes, to show more sportsmanship. So even when you lose, the shaking of the hand, the conversation, um, and for the parents, get them to see the camaraderie after the game. Don't just turn the television off after the game is over. Look at the camaraderie. Look at how the players, shake each other's hands, exchange each other's jersey through a win or a loss. Because they are sports, they have sportsmanship. They are athletes. They are very professional in what they do. Understand, we need to take the drama out of sports. We need to take the the anger, the angerness, the the repeated violence, um, the fighting, the pushing, the shoving that that really cripples the game of the sport. Because what's happening is, as me working in the school system, I see children that can't take a loss and it feels as though that if they lost, they are losers. No, I think Jalen Hurts said this repeatedly after last year's season. He kept on saying that after each loss, he said each loss is a moment where you can grow and learn. You know, we learn from our loss, and you become better once you learn from it. And so that's why I want to really put out there for our young kids, for our athletes that's out there. So take the time out to teach sportsmanship. Um, make a video on how to have sportsmanship and not to have anger and malice during. All right. Thank y'all for watching F.O.S.T. I'm your host, Aaron Flowers, along with Dwayne Wilson, Erica, Kai, Charles. We are going to need your picks before tomorrow because the first game is in Germany at 9
9:30.
a.m.
Yep.
So we need those picks in. If y'all don't put y'all picks in, me and Wayne will take those wins. I need to come up anyway.
We can guarantee that Kai's picking the Panthers to win that game.
And we can guarantee that that Erica is picking the Philadelphia Eagles to win against the Dallas
Yep.
Everholes.
Yep.
And we can guarantee that Charles is picking the Niners in their game. So yeah. But that's the only guarantees that we have. The rest of y'all, all of the games, we need those in so I can jot this information down. So we can talk about it on the next FOST. FOST is broadcast every Saturday at 6 p.m. We were kind of late today trying to do some logistics, trying to get things done where we can actually broadcast and show you highlights and films from the previous week. Still working on that. StreamYard is, I'm going to take a StreamYard course real quick and see if I can get that ready for next week. PowerPoint schedule for FOST. Thank y'all for listening. God bless. Have a nice night. Peace.